Today, let's take a look at this 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited X, courtesy of Yark Automotive Group, showing just over 57,000 miles, listed at the live market price of $35,397. Yark Automotive specializes in bringing a live market price to be sure that you, the customer, are getting the fairest deal possible, along with a full Carfax report. This is a multiple owner vehicle, but there are no damages or accidents reported. Links to the listing site along with the Carfax report included at the listing site will be linked in the description below. Let's go ahead and get started. There's something special about this Grand Cherokee. Go ahead and take a listen. It may seem like a normal Grand Cherokee until... That's right. This is not your normal Grand Cherokee. Why? Because this Grand Cherokee Limited X is powered by the legendary 5.7 liter Hemi V8. Puts out 360 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque, mated to an 8-speed ZF torque flight transmission. These are increasingly rare, and this is a whistle clean example. No scratches, no dents, no dings, nothing. The exterior color is known as diamond black pearl coat, and it's finished over a jet black interior. And talk about sinister. With these dark tinted windows and all black body with those sharp LED lights up front, this is a sinister vehicle. This is something a mobster would drive. So if you want to look cool and pretend that you are part of the mafia, then this Grand Cherokee allows you to do that. Up front, we're riding on 20-inch machined graphite Jeep wheels, and we're riding on Michelin Defender LTXs, measuring 265 by 50 R20 all around, all season tires. This thing is stealthy, and that's a good thing. Back here, we can see we have this really cool Limited X badge, a blacked out Jeep logo. It's kind of a granite color. Let's start at the back. Liftgate is power operated. We also have these WeatherTech floor mats for the winter, because this is a Jeep after all. And back here we have ample amounts of cargo room. Impressive for a two-row. We have a gigantic Alpine speaker in the back. We have a 12-volt DC outlet. And we have a small storage cubby. And underneath here, we can see that we've got a full-size spare along with the jack and lug locks. In the back, there is more than enough legroom. I am 6 foot and I sit perfectly fine with room to spare. We have these nice cargo nets. We do not have rear climate control, but we have rear climate control vents. And we also have a 110 power outlet right down there, along with 2 USB ports. Very plain back here, but everything is leather upholstered. We have a nice cup holder right there for 2 drinks. Leather upholstery throughout. There is a little bit of rippling on that seat right there, but overall the leather has held up quite well. It's still plenty comfortable for a road trip or going around town, or you just want to sit back and look really cool or dapper, or look like you're part of a mafia gang, then this can do it. Up here we have a gigantic panoramic sunroof. That's a Jeep quality on a lot of the Grand Cherokees as well, so this one is fully loaded. But let's go ahead and check out the cockpit. Sitting up here in this Grand Cherokee, we have the Uconnect 5 system. This is not their most recent one, but it's only a few years old because they've switched to Uconnect 6, but still it is crystal clear and responsive. Not a ton of lag. Lags at times and is a little bit glitchy at moments, but most of the time it works flawlessly. We have media control, we have climate control, we have different controls for the heated seats and heated wheel. We have a backup camera as well. We also have the Uconnect app pages with off-road pages. We have a navigation system, universal in a lot of Jeeps. We have different settings as well, but we'll put on a nav. Wood trim along with aluminum brush. excellent fit and finish. Steering wheel is, of course, leather wrapped. We have a nice LCD screen there in the middle that is all configurable. We have adaptive cruise control. We have controls for the center display screen right up there. And we also have paddle shifters. Down here we have our automatic lights along with our dim lights for the gauges. Over here we have our physical climate controls. We have park sense, this will park itself. Parking sensors on or off. We have lane keep off. We have eco mode, which is a V8, so I don't know why you'd want to use eco mode, but it's there. We also have sport mode along with traction control, which is probably what you're going to default to because you want to put all this power down to the pavement. Spacious cabin, quaint materials, some rubberized bits here and there, but overall, it's a nice luxurious SUV. Down here we can see we have 2 more USB ports along with an aux port along with a 12-volt DC outlet. 2 decent sized cup holders. We have our drive modes right here along with our 4-wheel drive low control. In here we have a small storage cubby. You can put a phone in there to reveal an even deeper storage cubby, but it's not that deep. It's more on the shallow side, but you could still fit a reasonable amount of objects in there if you'd like. Brushed wood across the dash. Up here we have the controls for the panoramic roof along with our garage door control. We have hatch control right there and controls for the dome lights. Luxurious interior. Great fit and finish. That's what a Grand Cherokee is all about. But let's go ahead and get this thing out on the road. Cruising through an empty lot, that would definitely be cool, especially if it was at night. This is dark, yet you have nice tinted windows all around. Of course, nothing on the windshield, but to complement the black paint job, it really makes this such a sinister beast. You have a V8 under the hood. We have 4-wheel drive. This basically, what the Limited X is, it fills the gap between what the SRT Grand Cherokee left behind when it was discontinued compared to the Trackhawk. Because compared to the Trackhawk, this is the most sporty variant of the Grand Cherokee. You can't get anything sportier than this without getting that 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi. But if you want regular 5.7 liter power or even that little V6, and you want sport and luxury and almost every option, then you can definitely get a Limited X. And the Limited X is kind of hard to find, especially with a V8. Well, a lot of the Grand Cherokees are hard to find with a V8 now because they sell in bulk with that little V6. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you want a Grand Cherokee like this, you want to look cool, you want to have this muscular appearance and sinister appearance, you want to look like a badass, then it's Hemi V8 all the way. It kind of helps establish the identity of what this SUV is, and it's really hard to find, and they still make them in the new models, but those are even harder to find. If you want to find a Hemi V8 in a new one, a 2022 and up, then you're basically trying to find a unicorn, but they are out there. And this is a whistle clean example, because if you want an older body style one, they made those from 2008 to 2020. And Chrysler has since stuck with the design philosophy that if it works so well, then why change it? This still is a fantastic looking SUV. The interior is held up very, very well. It's well built. You have a great powertrain. You have a great transmission. You have a 4-wheel drive system. The Grand Cherokee is luxurious through and through. It's basically like the American Range Rover, only this will not brake as much as a Range Rover would. Let's get it out on the highway and see what this Grand Cherokee is like to open up. Hemi stays quiet, but you definitely know that it's there. As we merge into traffic, I'm picturing myself trailing somebody in a car chase scene right before the car chase starts, weaving in and out of traffic in a blacked out Grand Cherokee, listening to that Hemi V8 sing. We're not going to do any of that today, obviously, but it makes you feel like a baddie when you drive something like this, because nobody else on the road wants to mess with you. It's so, I've said it a lot, but I know that this is such a sinister vehicle. Matches well with that Scat Pack right there. On the highway though, at 65 miles an hour, you don't have a ton of wind noise at all. It's actually quite refined in here, but you're getting a lot of feedback through the tires. Steering is light and responsive because it's by wire. I'm getting a lot of feedback through the steering wheel, telling me what the wheels are doing, and that's good. A little bit of a heavy feel, but that's what you want in an SUV like this one. You want it to be heavy because you have that responsiveness than if it was just like creamy smooth and stuff like that. We kind of glide into this corner. Handles with no problem. Obviously you're not going to go be able to tack the Nürburgring in a SUV like this one, but it definitely corners well for what it is. Overall on the highway, it's a comfortable place to be. It's not very bumpy. It's still a refined ride. You have Dynaride underneath you. Makes for a plush experience. Makes it enjoyable. But you know, you can open it up when you want to. That is incredibly crisp and responsive power. Immediate kick down. The transmission knows what gear to be in. It knows where to be. Very well suited to this Grand Cherokee. With a lot of crazies on the road, as you can see in front of me and around me, nobody will want to mess with you when you're driving this blacked out rocket ship. On the brakes feel immediate and responsive. There's a little bit of cushiness, which is good, but there's no firmness or deadness in the pedal. Responsive, able to bring this to a stop and slow it down like it's nobody's business. As we come into this roundabout, we enter into this sharp curve. Feel a little bit of body roll, a little bit of offset there. Remember, you're not going to be tackling the Nürburgring in this big behemoth like this, but it still corners well. That by-wire steering makes this an enjoyable cornering monster and gives you crisp feedback through the wheels as we get back on it. Right up to highway speed, no problem. It makes a great noise. The Hemi in here is actually rather refined. It's quieter than you would expect it to be, and you don't have an exhaust button, unfortunately. But you definitely can tell that there's a V8, but they've put in enough sound deadening to make it noticeable and make it have a great noise. But it's also rather refined, more refined than you might think it would be. It's really quiet. And then it quiets itself down and kicks in the MDS, so it'll drop 4 cylinders to save fuel. And then just work away with no problem. It really is a great powertrain that's been adapted very well for this package. Immediate response from the brakes again, that's good. If you have to ever make any sudden movements or change lanes or get on the brakes hard, you know that this can be able to handle it. You can't not love that sound. It's really fantastic. Like I said again, around here it's plenty quiet. There's really no kind of feedback from the wheels, no road noise, no wind noise. This is a great package. And for $35,000, you get a V8 monster. It's fabulous. Like always, if you like this vehicle or you like this video, be sure to check us out at yarkauto.com. That is Yark Automotive Group, where you're one-stop shop where you can find hundreds of different certified, pre-owned, and new vehicles. And remember, at Yark Automotive Group, we've got just what you're looking for.